Hello, and welcome to Sales and Business Strategy for Women, where we talk all things business growth. If you are wanting to learn or uplevel your sales skills, business growth strategies, and how to manage your time while doing it, you're in the right place. Hello, and welcome back to the show. I am Lindsay Fletcher, your host for this podcast, Sales and Business Strategy for Women, where we talk about all things business growth. I help you learn sales skills. We'll talk through business strategy, how to identify where we need to change things. We'll talk about time and task management because we have to make sure we are managing our calendars well so that we can make sure that we're doing the right things to move our business forward. I am starting this podcast back up after taking a little bit of time off to get some things in order in our small business my husband and I own. And I wanted to take this opportunity to reintroduce myself. I am Lindsay Fletcher. I am a wife, a mom of 4, and 2 dogs. And I'm also a multi-six-figure CEO. We are heading towards our first $1 million mark here shortly. And I love sales. I love talking about sales. I love consulting for sales. I love coaching sales. I just love sales. And if you are not someone who loves sales, I encourage you and challenge you to stick around here. I hope to rub off on you, and I hope to change your mind that sales is about building relationships. It's about serving our communities and our customers well. And I hope to just kind of rub off on you a little bit. You may have noticed on the podcast cover art that I have changed things up just a little bit. I have become really clear about who I want to serve and how I want to do that. So you'll notice new cover art, and the name of this podcast has changed slightly from Small Business Sales and Strategy to Sales and Business Strategy for Women. If you haven't done so already, please do hit the subscribe or follow button on whatever podcast platform you are listening on. I have some really great episodes, some great topics, and some thought-provoking activities for you coming up, and I don't want you to miss a single thing. So, without further ado, let's get into today's topic, which is 5 business lessons that I learned from watching the Paris Olympics. Now, we just wrapped up watching the Olympic Games, and I believe the Paralympic Games have started as I'm recording this podcast. And there were so many business lessons that I was reminded of or that popped into my head and kind of created a thought pathway for me, if you will, throughout these games. And watching these elite athletes was just absolutely phenomenal, of course. Always. I don't know about you, but I am an Olympics junkie, and I love gymnastics and swimming and diving and track and field and all of the sports that I would never, ever be able to do myself. I absolutely love the Olympic Games. And there were some really, really great business lessons that came out of watching that. So here they are in no particular order. Here are my 5 business lessons that I was reminded of, or that kind of smacked me upside the head, if you will, while watching the Paris Olympics. Number 1 is progress over perfection. We have to take messy action, and sometimes that just means we go for it. While I was watching the women's gymnastics competitions, Simone Biles does her extremely difficult tricks. They are so far above and beyond what anyone else does or can even attempt to do. But when it hit me, this little progress over perfection lesson was when I was watching her do her crazy, insane vaults. And she never, ever landed them perfectly. Actually, I saw her land it close to perfectly in practice one day, but she never really lands her vaults perfectly. In fact, one of the announcers said that on one of her vaults that she actually plans for a step at the end to ensure that she lands safely. Her landings weren't perfect, but the degree of difficulty for the skills that she was performing was astronomical. She is the absolute greatest gymnast of all time. And you are a small business owner who is also doing something hard. you're in business. Just like Simone Biles, the greatest of all time, you don't have to stick every landing and you don't have to close every single deal that rolls across your desk. It is okay to prepare for the extra step. It is okay to prepare for imperfection. We just have to take action. It doesn't need to be perfect. So wherever you are in your business journey, just remember that we need to take imperfect action in our business so that we can make progress. Progress is the real GOAT in business. All right, number 2, don't be afraid to show your enthusiasm for your work. Y'all, Snoop Dogg was a highlight, not the highlight, but a highlight of the Olympic Games for me. He was so enthusiastic and so excited for those athletes, and it just radiated from his being and from his pores. He has successfully rebranded himself from a 90s OG gangsta rapper to America's favorite grandpa, and his light is absolutely shining. So be a Snoop D-O-double-G, be authentic, and show your excitement for what you do. And don't even look in the direction of the naysayers. You don't even have to look their direction. We do not have time for that as business owners. We've got to show our enthusiasm for what we do. It makes people want to come to us. I could literally talk about Snoop Dogg for the next 5 minutes, but we're going to move on to number 3. Number 3 is use what you've got. We don't need the fanciest technology. We don't need the fanciest operating system. We will at some point, but when we are first starting out, we have to use what we've got. We just have to do the work and stop making excuses or thinking in your head that you have to have this system for you to be able to do the work, or that technology, or this microphone for podcasting, or that type of equipment for business. Sometimes we just have to take action, and we just have to use what we've got. Take it from Turkey's shooter. I'm going to probably butcher his name. Yusuf Dikik, who won silver wearing regular glasses and his non-shooting hand in his pocket. Y'all, he had a polo and jeans and regular glasses on while he was winning the silver medal at the Olympics for shooting. I think so many times we get caught up in having the fanciest website or technology or gear. But the truth is sometimes we don't actually need that stuff to move forward. And we spend too much time comparing ourselves to what everyone else has versus what you have and how they're working their business versus how you're working your business. I'm going to insert a major eye roll here because if you are a social media consumer, just remember that those are highlight reels. They are not actually real life. We've got to use what we've got and get to work. All right, number 4. Boundaries and mental health are important. So we're going back to the GOAT. Simone Biles suffered from some mental health issues called the twisties and some other things in the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, driving her to make a very difficult decision to discontinue in the competition a few years ago. She has openly discussed how she took time off from gymnastics and really focused on her mental health. And she even said, I think in one interview this Olympics in Paris, that she was in therapy every Thursday or something like that. She really has prioritized her health. She's set healthy boundaries, and she has come back better than ever. Ladies, I am talking to you, and especially you, my listeners, my lovely listeners that are moms. It is really super easy to get in the grind and always be working and always be grinding and always putting everyone else first. But Simone Biles, again, the GOAT, is proof here. When we rest, when we prioritize our health, and when we put really great boundaries into place, we will be able to perform and compete in our businesses at a higher level. Simone proved that by taking time off, taking care of herself, and then she came back even better than before. So please take some notes from Simone Biles and her prioritization of herself and her health and putting good boundaries into place. Ladies, take some time off every week. Recalibrate, recharge, reset. It is very, very important to not only your health, your overall well-being, but it's also important to your business. Number 5, also one of my favorites in the Olympic highlights was being yourself is the best. Ilona Mayer is the perfect example. She skyrocketed to social media fame after she and her teammates won the bronze in women's rugby. I'm hoping y'all know who I'm talking about. She is phenomenal. She's beautiful. She is strong. She is powerful. And she's also sensitive, and she's so flipping hilarious. You got to follow her on social media if you don't already, but she has candidly talked about body image and assumptions that people make about her. She's made us laugh. She's made us cry. She is an excellent reminder to be you and to do business your way. Your business doesn't have to look like everyone else's, just like your body doesn't look like everyone else's. If social media isn't your thing and you don't feel called to show up there, then don't. If you love social media and you find value out of that, then absolutely do it. Your business can look however you want it to look. And if you only want to be online, then do that. Build a strategy that is in line with your values and your goals. Building a business that is authentic to you, your family, your values is the most important. So be yourself in business. Y'all, there were so many lessons from the Olympics, but these were probably my top 5. I could probably go on and on for hours and hours about all the business lessons that I learned during this year's games. They were such good reminders for me, and I hope that they are good reminders and lessons for you too. We have to keep our eyes looking at the big picture, and it's so easy to get caught up in the minutia, in the little bitty weeds of owning a business or leading a team, that we often forget there's a forest out there because we're stuck inspecting all the little things. So again, I hope these business tips were helpful for you. Let's run through them one more time as a recap. Number 1 was progress over perfection. Number 2 is don't be afraid to show your enthusiasm for your work. Number 3, use what you've got. Number 4, boundaries and mental health are important. And number 5, being yourself is the absolute best. I am so glad you joined me for this resuming of the podcast, and I hope you will continue joining me for more episodes. Again, if you have not followed our show, please do so. That helps me know that y'all are listening, and it'll make sure that you don't miss anything. Thanks so much. Have a great day. We'll talk next week.